what's up everyone? This is Kian and welcome to my next podcast in the series that I'm making to help you guys learn English faster and improve your IELTS spend score. And today we're going to talk about people's spending style. Well, are you a big spender or are you more of a saver? Do you like to own expensive things or are you a simple person, a minimalist? You just want to have like several sets of clothes and trousers and have like one or two pairs of shoes and out the door you go. Like you don't care much about what people think about your like fashion style whatsoever. So which one are you? Anyway, today we're not going to talk about you per se, right? Because I don't know about like the people who are listening to this podcast. So today we're going to talk about people in general, their spending style, right? These days, many people seem to buy very expensive things with the money that they don't have. And possibly the reason behind this is to impress the people they don't like, because they think that, well, you know, these people who are really, really terrible, but they now own like a very big house and they have supercar and stuff. So, you know, I hate these people and I just want them to know how it feels to be inferior to other people in terms of finance or material possessions, of course. So that's a terrible, terrible mindset. But what do you know? People still think like that. And most of the time, you just feel happy for a day or two because you feel like you are superior to them. But, you know, the feeling of emptiness and the money that is actually spent may make your life really miserable. So it's not really a good idea to buy things with the money that you don't have to impress the people that you don't like. Okay, just forget about it. If you don't like them, you don't like them, right? If they have done something wrong, they have done something wrong. You know it. Just fight it in your heart to forgive them for the things that they have done, and get on with your life. Just move on, right? Why do you like cling to the negative feelings and emotions that actually drive you to do things that are terrible? Of course, buying a new house or owning a new car is not terrible per se. But again, if those things are not really for, your own good, it's not really for your own well-being, then it's not really something that is, useful in your life. So just think about people who bought like a house near a beach. They are not really there for the beach, but they are there for their personality. They are there to impress, the people that used to look down on them, or they want to impress their peers, which is foolish, really. Well, I remember that there's this friend of mine who actually spent $200,000 buying a car just to impress the people in our class, because there's this class reunion coming up, and he thought that if he drove a supercar to the party, and he would be perceived like as a successful person or something. But he appears to be really like, I'll just be completely honest with you guys. He was really childish. But the money doesn't really help him, show his superiority or whatsoever. He was still the same kid who was really insecure of his mistakes and weaknesses and stuff. And now he's trying to use his money to actually create the facade to just hide his, insecurities. That's just funny. Like, how much money do you think that you will need to show people that you are confident? I don't think that you need any money to show that you are self-confident, because people can be confident in many ways. You're confident, in your intellect. You can be confident in your ability to understand people and stuff. I don't think that it has anything to do with how much money you have. So it is beyond me when I see people trying really hard to become someone else, someone they are not, or even someone they don't even like. That's just unperceivable. But what are other reasons why people actually buy things beyond their needs and means? Well, I think borrowing money from banks and financial institutions these days is just so easy, Like they actually encourage you to use credit cards or get a loan. I just remember that the other day, I got called like so many times from different, financial institutions because they wanted me to like get a loan from their company. I don't need your money. Like I have my own money, but they try really hard to sway people into getting a loan or getting a mortgage. And I think another problem is that people these days actually use social media a lot, and it negatively affects their mindset, because basically when you get online and you just see all the highs of people, like you don't see the lows of people. So when you feel good, you post something online, and if you just buy an expensive pair of shoes, and you might as well post a picture of you wearing that covetous pair of shoes online, right? And when other people see the photo of yours, and they may think that, well, she appears to be so happy, and I might as well buy the same pair of shoes or even more expensive pairs of shoes so that I can feel like happier. So from my vantage point, I think so many people these days are equating owning more expensive things with increased happiness. So next time when you spend money on something, just make sure that the money is well spent. You are spending money judiciously, wisely, okay? Right, so what about people buying famous brands? Is it justifiable to buy expensive clothes and shoes and cars? I don't think that those things are actually worth, striving for. And therefore, I think it's not really worth it when you try to buy expensive clothes, designer clothes even. Well, of course, many people actually treat this as a form of collecting, They think that, these things are made in limited numbers. So it's just like, I am collecting. I don't think that there's anything wrong with me, collecting the things that I desire. Many people pay a lot of money for a certain stamp, and if I am buying a limited version of a Gucci bag, then it is just my way of having fun. If you go to a football match and you need to pay a lot of money, it is also a form of habit. So what they say, there's no accounting for tastes. Like you have a different preference, I have a different preference, so we should not judge each other, right? But it is kind of selfish of these people if they think about the number of people who are living in extreme conditions, or many people are actually living on only 1 or 2 meals a day. It's just simply selfish of them. If they spend like $100,000 or $200,000 on a car, with that amount of money, they can actually help a lot of people who are in need. Of course, they cannot lift those people out of poverty right away, but they can provide these people with classes, with skills that can help them, earn money. And, well, they are going to do a whole lot of good to our society. So I think affluent people should rethink the way that they are spending money. Like many people, many affluent people, many rich people are doing charity. We can see this in the way, Bill Gates and his wife actually founded, Bill and Melissa Foundation to, help people around the world. So it is just more of a worthwhile effort and way to spend your money, right? So that's it for our podcast today, and see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.